With the Memphis Grizzlies' matchup in the playoffs set, a dark cloud continues to linger over the franchise, specifically with star guard Ja Morant. We have covered Morant in the club, popping bottles, getting a lap dance in the VIP section of a Colorado nightclub, where many workers objected to his antics. We have sadly seen Morant drink loads of alcohol, his favorite being tequila, on his own Instagram Live. Yet on this dais, a Washington Post investigation has now uncovered how police may have protected the Grizzlies star in the wake of troubling details involving a minor. As we have covered previously, Morant has serious allegations that have surfaced involving himself striking a teen stemming from a pickup basketball game. The boy's mother said he came home with a large knot located on his head because of Morant and a friend. TMZ reported Morant was alleged to have gone into his house and returned with a firearm visible in his waistband. That's when Ja's father, T, ordered him back inside. Morant would be investigated by the National Basketball Association following a game with the Indiana Pacers, when Morant would load into an SUV post-game that allegedly pointed red lasers at opposing players. The league, however, found no wrongdoing. And yet there was more. Morant went to a local Finish Line store where his mother got into an argument, and Morant later threatened a worker, stating, "Let me know what time he gets off work." TMZ Sports reported another incident. After his sister's volleyball game, an altercation took place. Morant and a group of men came to the school to confront the student his sibling got into it with verbally. No charges were filed. He would tweet at a fan, "It's free to see how hollows feel," before deleting the note altogether, a direct reference to gun violence. And yet here we are, on the precipice of the NBA playoffs with another story surfacing. The Washington Post has serious allegations of misconduct levied against the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, which is located in Tennessee. Patrolman Gregory Stratman, after receiving a call from the alleged victim, went to the house to get a statement. After hearing the name that made him stop in his tracks, Stratman said, "You talking about like basketball player Ja Morant? Like Memphis Grizzly Ja Morant?" This was just weeks after Morant inked a deal via CBS Sports that was a reported $193 million that could hit a max of $231 million. The Washington Post, in a lengthy article, would go on to note the officers took their time in investigating. Quote, "It was 6 weeks before they interviewed Ja," wrote Gus Garcia Roberts and Molly Hensley Clancy, adding prosecutors shelved it, citing little evidence. However, police did not mention the witnesses they interviewed, nor did they identify Morant's friend, who was also allegedly involved. Now, the writers also put in their piece about the Finish Line episode. The alleged victim, Javon Busby, would state clearly Morant threatened him. The police report did not list Ja as a suspect. Ja's mother is under the title of unknown. Here's the kicker. When the Post later asked Memphis PD for reports that list Morant as a suspect, police said they don't have any. There are none. The Post would obtain the report only after tracking down the alleged victim. The guard would allege Morant's friend assaulted him. After filing a police report, the Post would uncover not a single arrest was made. Busby would not hear from the police again for their investigation. Seems kind of big. Going back to the volleyball game, a confidant of Morant's allegedly threatened teens and slapped a phone out of a hand. Police officers, quote, "ceded that duty to the Grizzlies," a police report shows, wrote the Post. Now, if one would ponder, so is this how it goes on behind the scenes? Because we see this in movies all the time. We hear about this stuff in documentaries and TV shows. We see it as well, that there are corporations who handle crises like these behind the scenes and put out fires. Well, the Post has that. Behind the scenes, records and interviews show the Grizzlies worked with police. We went months with no media coverage nor condemnation from the franchise. The Grizz nor the association tried making contact with the alleged victims to have a better understanding. Meanwhile, the NBA claims it is mandatory for teams to report any incidents that transpire that involve the police. If true, what we are seeing is how big businesses protect their assets, mainly with a team protecting the superstar and future of the franchise. Ja Morant would deny all allegations against him, except for the Colorado nightclub incident, because he streamed it on his own Instagram Live. After the Pacers-Grizzlies scuffle, one name was reportedly banned from attending NBA games for 1 year, that being Devontae Pack, a close friend of Ja Morant's. The teen boy who was allegedly beaten at Morant's house filed a lawsuit against Ja and Pack. Their lawyers have labeled it a shakedown by the boy's mother. Busby, the Finish Line employee, filed a report with Memphis PD. He even told the department he could provide security camera footage of the store if needed. The police, though, wouldn't follow up. Though Busby said it was Ja who did the intimidating, the cop didn't refer to him as a suspect, which helps shield the report from the public view, wrote the outlet. What's striking is when Morant finally gave an interview to police in regards to the pickup basketball fight outside his home. Detective Aaron Avant was coddling Morant and agreeing with Morant via his statements. The detectives would not press Morant on the friend who was allegedly involved, that being Pack, who currently lives with Ja in his mansion. Interestingly, Pack has not claimed self-defense like Morant did. His lawyers have not stated why exactly he punched the teen. One last note. There is security footage of this going down. I would bet from a team standpoint, they buried it. They made sure those videos do not see the light of day. With the basketball fight outside of Ja's house, he says they were basically reworking and recharging, redoing, rewiring the security cameras. So those aren't there. I am curious to see what those security cams look like, because Memphis's team has done a great job of showing Ja in a very positive light. The Jalen Rose interview did a lot, I would say, to help sway the public back on his side. But if something like this were to come out, it would be damning and detrimental to not only Ja Morant, their coveted star, but it would also hurt the Memphis Grizzlies as a team for welcoming him back. They know what went down. I guarantee they have, or at least some have, seen this footage. And there is a good reason, in my opinion, why we haven't.